Shanghai chases karaoke COVID cluster as China looks to curb outbreaks. Shanghai, Beijing. Millions in Shanghai queued up for a third day of mass COVID-19 testing on Thursday as government in several Chinese cities scrambled to stamp out new outbreaks which have rekindled concerns approximately increase inside the international's second large street financial system. Local government officials across China had been beneath pressure to save the disease from spreading to such degree that, below the US of A's dynamic zero-COVID strategy, could require fundamental restrictions for a prolonged period of time. Shanghai especially wanted to prevent a repeat of the 2-month lockdown that brought on wonderful financial loss and mental stress to its 25 million residents and disrupted global supply chains and global change in April and May. A resurgence of Omicron isn't always in trouble in most different nations, but it remains a predominant problem for the Chinese financial system, Nomura analysts wrote in a note, regarding the especially transmissible COVID version. As China is, via far the biggest production center inside the global, any new waves of Omicron are probable to have a non-negligible impact, they brought. The latest outbreaks in China have weighed on worldwide asset expenditures this week. Shanghai, China's most populous town, is racing to music and isolate infections linked to a constructing wherein a karaoke front room had reopened illegally and a food-serving venue provided karaoke services without a license. Authorities have revoked the licenses of the two companies and fined them, the city authorities said on Wednesday. 2 neighborhood officials were under investigation for failing to conduct proper supervision, it mentioned. Residents in lots of Shanghai's 16 districts needed to observe compulsory assessments between Tuesday and Thursday. But human beings need to take common exams on their personal besides if they need to go into purchasing shops or use public shipping. Shanghai mentioned 54 new domestically transmitted COVID instances for Wednesday, versus 24 the day before today. Another 50 compounds and venues have been locked down on Thursday in the business hub, taking the total to 81. Playing WHACKAMOLE with outbreaks overall, mainland China said 338 new neighborhood COVID instances for Wednesday, down from 353, and not using a new deaths, numbers which most nations would now recall insignificant. Most cases, 167 of them, had been inside the Japanese Anhui province wherein more than 1 million humans in small towns are locked down. Beijing mentioned 4 new infections, down from 6. The capital for the primary time on Wednesday mandated COVID vaccinations for maximum people to go into crowded venues inclusive of libraries, cinemas and gyms, beginning from July 11. The city of Xinjiang in the northern Shaanxi province, after finding 1 case getting back from Shanghai, has tested almost its entire 280,000 populace, suspended taxis, journey hailing and bus services, and closed numerous enjoyment venues. In an exclusive province, Shaanxi, which stated 4 new cases, the Cultural and Tourism Authority asked travel companies to cancel any organization excursions into components of its capital Xi'an, famed for its terracotta army. The eastern Jiangsu province, which has cancelled a primary carrying event scheduled for November, stated 61 infections. China has stated its uncompromising COVID policy, instead of an international fashion of coexisting with the virus, was saving lives and that transient monetary fees have been really worth bearing. Officials have pointed to the hundreds of thousands of COVID-linked deaths around the sector, versus the 5,226 stated in China. Analysts warn, that a few expenses may additionally turn out to be permanent if China's debt burden increases and if curbs lead to traders and expertise reconsidering their presence inside the country. China is making plans to installation a 500 billion yuan $75 billion country infrastructure fund to revive the economy, people with know-how of the problem have told. $1 equals 6.7000 Chinese yuan.